Many in the science world are rethinking consciousness, our minds, and the very nature of reality. One of those is Tim Anderson, a physicist and philosopher of science, the author of The Infinite Universe. Dr. Anderson asks a most intriguing question. If we draw a circle and surround it with a vast cloud or unlimited horizon, what is consciousness and what is the physical world we interact with? He concludes that if we answer that the cloud is the physical world and the circle is our conscious minds, then we are likely someone from the Western culture. If we think that the cloud is consciousness and the circle is physical reality, then we are likely someone with an Eastern cultural mindset. This is a simple and powerful way to not only describe cultural differences, but worldview differences. These are coming into sharper view in the Western world as we struggle with questions about what quantum reality means and how to account for consciousness. Why the difference? Science evolved within the Western culture and overthrew a worldview that in many respects was far more compatible with the Eastern understanding of mind and the physical world. From the success of science in explaining the physical world in terms of gravity, of electromagnetic forces, of particles and their constituent parts, scientists came to believe that nothing existed other than matter and forces. What about mind or consciousness? Since nothing immaterial existed, then if consciousness existed at all, it had to emerge from matter. Matter and forces following accidental and purposeless laws evolved into intelligence, and from intelligence, consciousness emerged. That is the story that many believe today. But Anderson and others believe that the common Western idea of reality may be wrong, and it is science itself that appears to be causing this serious rethinking. A major reason is that physical reality is not what we thought it was. We think of objects we interact with, like rocks or chairs, as hard and solid. We even think of light that enters our eyes as a particle, a bit of matter. But based on the last 100 years of quantum physics, we now understand all of reality to be energy, waves of electromagnetic energy. What is real is far less solid, less locatable, and in a very real sense, less real than we used to think. Many are now thinking that reality is more what is created in our minds than something that exists independently of our minds. Add to that the mystery of consciousness. Scientists, despite strenuous efforts and billions in research, have failed to explain how the matter of our brains can create consciousness. Many are now thinking that consciousness pervades the universe and is part of even the tiniest bit of matter. Add to that, many are starting to understand that human experiences of psychic phenomenon, of mysticism, of genius, of the placebo effect, of near-death experiences, of reincarnation, and much more that is called paranormal, must be taken far more seriously. These widely reported experiences are ignored or rejected by physical scientists wedded to the idea that nothing but matter exists. But being wedded to an idea does not make it true. The scientific view of the world started about 300 years ago. It leads us in the Western world to think of physical reality as infinite and our minds as a tiny part that evolves from that physical reality. Now, it may very well be that our science today is leading us to reverse this understanding. In the Eastern view, and increasingly the new scientific view, consciousness comes first and may be infinite. Mind comes first, and then from mind, matter and forces emerge. We have minds, or maybe participate in one universal mind, and because of that, we can experience what mind creates or produces. Hence, we see light. We feel the rock when it hits us. We write at a desk. Does that mean these things are physical, that they are real, made of a substance? If, as the scientists say, they are just blurred out possibilities, then our senses receive them as waves of energy and our mind interprets them as real, as hard, as made of something far more solid than just energy. In this view, we understand the world of reality as physical, hard, and real, because our bodies and minds, through creation or evolution or both, are made to sense and then interpret these waves of energy as real. Consciousness creates reality. In this view, it is true of the world outside us and of the inner world we inhabit. Dr. Anderson's intriguing explanation for reality and how we understand it helps us to come to grips with how we sense and understand the world around us and our physical world in light of consciousness and current scientific thinking about the nature of reality. But it doesn't explain all that we experience. Our lives include many experiences that go beyond physical reality. Things like deep coincidences or synchronicities, as pioneering psychoanalyst Carl Jung called them. Extrasensory perception, mysticism, the placebo effect, near-death experiences, and much more all call for explanation. Can this view of consciousness and physical reality account for these as well? In the next video, we'll take a closer look at how this mind first or infinite consciousness idea expressed by Dr. Anderson can be taken a step further.